When did you feel like everything was done? You just said that like at the end of everything, or like after
So
what?
we made that agreement that something was weird for that 5 seconds. We made that agreement, and we weren't intentionally talking about God. We weren't doing nothing. You said that that's a slave demon to an attachment demon. And once you said that, I remember my eyes got big because I felt weird.
Yeah.
And you felt weird. And that was 5 seconds. It felt like 5 minutes, bro. So we looked at each other, and once we looked at each other and agreed on what was happening, boom, that thing flew out of me. And I remember looking at it, and it curved and went out. It like fled, and I was like, yeah, you're right. You're gone. You know, God's here. And then I feel like after that, all those little ones came out of me. That one looked like a squid. It was about this big. I'd say about that big, man.
Damn, dude.
I'd say about that big, maybe. And I was stunned on how big it was. These little ones were about this big, and they looked like jellyfish with tentacles. They all had tentacles, man, but that bigger one was real thin, like a squid-looking thing. The best way I can describe it on physical Earth or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like freaking out. I could feel them all on me. I could feel them, boom, boom, boom. And you were just sitting there like, I don't know. You knew what was going on, but you were calm, and I was wondering why you were so calm and I wasn't. I was like, what's going on here? And then once all that shit happened, boom, here comes that angel, boom. But it was in you at first. I could see him come down, and I could see him, but he came into you. And that's when you were like glamorous, and you were strong, and now you had those piercing things coming off of you. So I knew that something was in you powerful. Piercing things, like I could just like these thorns. It felt like thorns poking me. The closer I got to you, that's why I was like scared to go near you. Kind of. I didn't know.
I got you.
I don't know what it was. It was this.
I remember.
It wasn't pain, but it was an annoying pain. It was something you could tolerate, but it wasn't something you would die from. You know.
Yeah.
And I just remember looking at you, man, and scattering all around. And that's when I started doing my shit. I was like, get behind me, blah, blah, give it all I got, this and that. You need to leave this, and everything calmed down. Everything calmed down for a couple minutes, and I thought it was gone. And then there you know, next thing you know, again, boom, here it comes again. You're like, it's coming again. We're like, it's coming again. Now they're on top of me, my back, everything. I could feel them. That's when it was inside of me saying, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. All these things. That's when that thing came back. I couldn't physically see it come back, but I could feel it come back, you know? And that's when it didn't hook me yet. Things got calm again, and that's when I prayed for that bubble. That bubble came. Couldn't see anything. Like this table, it was gone. The patio became big. I felt like this magnetic feeling. It's the best way I can. It's not like a metallic feeling, but it was like a magnetic. I could hear it. I could hear it as like a fly swatter kind of. That kind of. I could see it and I could feel it, and I closed my eyes and I kind of teleported into a different realm, but in the same spot. If that makes sense. And once I knew I was in that bubble, I knew I was in it, but once I doubted, is this gonna stay here or is it gonna go down? Once the first immediate, like once I questioned it, it started going down. I could feel it going down, and I was like, oh no, here we go, bro. Boom, 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 again. Archangel comes down, boom, 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 in you, would come out of you. And at this point, you're fighting your own battle, and I'm fighting my own battle over here. And you're completely calm. It was weirding me out why you were so calm, and I wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
Calm down again. We sat down, sat in that chair, and I was like, you know, I'm finding peace now. I want to relax. I'm not getting rid of the fear, and I felt that euphoric feeling in my back. And I was like, yes, God, you're here. But it was not a normal euphoric. It was like a pleasurable euphoric feeling. And God has that, but it's not that intense. It's not like that. And you called that out. And once you called that out, something pushed my head, boom, like this. Something physically pushed my head. And I don't think that was the angel. I don't think that was God. I think, or maybe it was to get me, when it tried to hook me, that's when, boom, my head went down. And I was just, at that point, I was just accepting it at that point. I was accepting that I'm fearful. I'm accepting that I'm brave. I'm accepting I'm a fighter. I'm accepting that I feel weak. Now, after all that, chaos again, fighting again, here it comes. And that's when I completely lost God. That's when I couldn't find him when he was there the whole time. That's when I didn't have my bubble, but you did. And that's when I realized that God wasn't protecting me anymore on purpose. That's when the real fear came in. It wasn't fear from all that other shit. It was fear from God, like you said in the truck. Is that what did you say? You fear
God. You don't fear God, you fear godlessness.
So that's exactly what that was. Because in my head, I knew God. I did know God, but I didn't know him to that point. Didn't know him well enough. And I always knew that. And once I felt that feeling in my heart, I became so scared, not of what was happening to me. Yeah, that, but feeling of like, why God's here, but he's not helping me. That means I'm doing something really wrong with my life, dude.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, I knew I wasn't protected when I thought I was. And that's when I just got scared and started doubting everything that was coming from your mouth, but everything God was telling you to me, it was like I was talking to God through you, and God was sitting right here next to that door, bro. And it was a portal like this. It wasn't really a portal, it was just a bright light, and it looked like an oval, and it was completely gold and shining and bright. I remember seeing that, and I knew I didn't have to question what that was, because I knew what it was.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was just talking to God, and hey, man, why aren't you protecting me, but you're protecting Scott? And that's when I was like, man, there's something really wrong with me. And because I wasn't giving it to God, instead of just like, God's here, just do whatever y'all need to do, but he's here, and just accepting it all. I wasn't doing that until the end. Until the end is when it went to the kitchen, and you had your bubble, and at that halfway point after that, once you got your bubble, it never left you. Once you got your bubble, it never left you. At this point, it was all on me. That's when you tried to leave to the kitchen. I said, no, you don't leave, bro. I don't feel good. Something's gonna happen if you leave, because that you carried the protection that I needed at that moment, you know. And it went to the kitchen, man, and came back outside, and then that's when God was telling me what he needed to tell me through that. And after that, it did flee. All that shit fled. That's when, once God and that angel fled, I knew it was over.
Yeah.
That stage was over. I looked at my nails, and I was like, dude, I needed to know if this was real. I looked at my nails, had all this black shit underneath my nails, black shit on my face. And the thing is, these things were like purified darkness. Like, they were like the most complete pitch black figures. Yeah. And they whenever they moved, they had the shade on them. They had the shade, you know. And then from that point, bro, I mean, I might be missing a few things, but that's when we were just in awe and shock. And we did have protection there at the end. I guess it was like 8 in the morning is when it really started. It all died down.
How long would you say that lasted? That
what
peace?
Was it like? Maybe it just had turned dark. It's probably about 8 o'clock to 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then that's when we did the shit on me, which lasted from 8 to like 12. So you're talking like half a day.
What do you remember from that?
I remember that you said that whatever is gonna come out of you is not gonna be great. Like, everything you treated someone wrong or anything, it's gonna come out bad. And I didn't believe that, because at the time I still had control. But I had the choice to let go of the control and let it control me, to get it out. At any time, I could have interfered and cut it out. I had that power. It never had that power. It was like I was allowing it. I wouldn't call it possess. Yeah. Because I was allowing it to expose itself, for it to be exposed to remove. Yes. And while during that process, I could have cut it all out and been completely myself. Yeah. At any moment, any second, I had that power. But I didn't want to, because I wanted it to be exposed. I let it control my body or whatever, and that's when I started screaming all that. Yeah. Because I was like, you know, in the past, when people did that, you kind of faked it because you're over dramatic or drunk, and it just wasn't real, you know. But this was like truly real. Like, it was the most bizarrest thing that ever came out of my mouth. The screaming and the rah, the rage, and even at that moment, I still could have cut it off if I wanted to. It wasn't me. I could have still interfered and cut it all off.
Did you feel it like, what do you call it? What did you feel like whenever you hit your knees? Like, the feeling?
Trying to push it out.
Yeah?
I was trying to push it out.
Okay.
I was trying to push it out.
Yeah.
And we got that out. I got that out.
Yeah, I know.
And there was
I
that
know.
one last one. No matter, I think it was because I was so exhausted.
Uh-huh.
I had fight in me, but no power. I had nothing else to push out. It felt like I was pushing out nothing that was there, but it was there because I could feel it in there.
Yeah.
It was an attachment that, I think it was the attachment of addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was one of those.
Yeah.
It was tiny. I could feel it. It wasn't big. It was tiny. And we couldn't get that one out. And that's when I got frustrated at you, because you hit me hard. And I was like, all right, that's fucking enough.
Yeah.
Don't touch me anymore, bro. I'm over it. I'm done. God's not going to let us do this tonight.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen tonight, no matter what we do. We're spiritually exhausted. We're drained. We gave everything we had. I have nothing left at this point, except for to accept what's in me and go to bed. You know,
Yeah.
I tried for hours to do it myself. It just wasn't happening. But that next day, that night, my grandmother said that prayer on that phone, and I felt like I accepted it, and I was peaceful that I was accepting that it was in me. Because I was so mad at those things were in me. I couldn't believe it. That those things were in me. I was so frustrated at myself. So mad at those things for being in me. Because I didn't know they could live inside you. I thought they can influence what you do through your mind, but not be in you. Live inside your stomach and in your body and see through your eyes. And that